What up, pips and players? Buku is back, and that was terrible. Anyways, we are back with another commentated Persona 5 Royal Low Level Challenge. This time we're going to be doing Shadow Wakaba, and I actually beat this on the first try. My preparation was actually minimal at best, and you're going to see that's not going to really pay off too well in the fight. But anyways, let's roll the video. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So I'm just showing off my stats here. Honestly, like I said before, I didn't do any preparation at all. In hindsight, I probably could have given Ryuji something to avoid wind attacks, or not avoid wind attacks, well, he already has evade wind. Oh, I did max out Odd and Ryuji's Confidant so that they can be level 10, so that they can learn not only the evade skills, but also Endure. Actually, everyone in this fight has Endure. You're going to see that come into play very soon because thanks to my low preparation, Shadow Wakaba does a lot of damage. Well, not Shadow Wakaba, Cognitive Wakaba does a lot of damage, and she actually hurts a lot. I could have prepared a lot for this fight, but I chose not to for lazy reasons. So, for the first phase of this fight, there actually is not a lot going on. The only objective for this phase is to survive after she does her rolling ascent attack. The ascent attack is physical, so as long as you have a persona that knows physical, Joker should take no damage from that. But if you want, you could also just use the Tetrakarn learned from the Jazz Djinn. But honestly, only Joker has to survive this phase, and you get automatically healed for all your HP and SP at the beginning of the second phase. So yeah, everything in this phase is pretty much negligible. You just have to survive. So instead, we're going to talk about what's going to happen after this fight. So because we're actually so low, we're only level 24 for this fight. So because we're actually so low level, that's actually going to bite us pretty hard because despite the second phase being incredibly scripted, those scripted scenes, I guess, assume that you are at a sufficient enough level to be able to finish her off after the scripted events because, well, you're going to see later how that's going to backfire. So yeah, as you can see here, we're just guarding for the sake of guarding. There's not really any reason for us to guard. I mean, Joker just has to survive, and yeah, Shikioji once again plays a huge part in this fight as he allows us to do the stuff we normally do. Oh yes, as you can see here, yeah, the fact that most of our party has Endure allows us to, oh, and also a side note, the Endure counter does refresh once the second phase begins, so that's going to help us immensely. So we're just going to quickly transition into the second phase where the real fight begins. So for the most part, we just have to answer the questions correctly because what happens here? Oh yeah, she's gonna automatically block it for us, and yeah, she's gonna put up a shield for us to block it or deflect or to repel it. I'm not sure what happens. I'm pretty sure we just block it for this one. Oh, it's a repel, yes, okay. So yeah, she automatically repels this rapid ascent attack. And at this point, now we have to send someone to go for the ballista. I sent Ryuji over because she does have her AoE wind attack that can cause dizzy. And if Ryuji gets hit with that, even though he has evade wind is not very reliable. If he does get hit with that, she gets a 1 more, and that could honestly be pretty detrimental. Even though we do finally have access to Recarm, I don't want to use Recarm because that involves me equipping Phoenix, and that puts Joker in death range to be killed by a random slam or a technical wind blast followed by a spink swipe. So I just want to play it safe and just send Ryuji over. Now we're just trying to get our buffs ready because we know that eventually Ryuji is going to hit the ballista to knock her down. So we're just getting our stuff set up to be able to, deflect all the attacks. Getting our stuff set up so that when we are able to attack her, we can deal sufficient damage. So yeah, as you can see here, we're just answering the questions correctly. Honestly, if you can't answer the questions correctly, look up a guide online. You have a 50-50 chance to get it right or wrong. If you get them wrong, the fight's pretty much over because you don't have a lot of damage to defeat her. Honestly, she has this fight relies on you getting the questions right and hitting the ballista, so make sure you do those correctly. So yeah, we're just lining up the ballista. So yeah, we're just gonna keep trying to get our defense. In hindsight, I probably should not have lowered her attack because we do get one instance where we do reflect an attack back at her, and reflect damage does depend on your attack stat and your defense stat. So it was good for us to lower her defense, but for us to lower her attack meant that the repel damage does do less to her overall, which may have saved us a turn. Not sure, but it's just something to think about if you ever do try this run on your own. Make sure not to don't lower her attack until after the ballista attempt, because you do want it to reflect the attack back at herself. So at this point, yeah, we do get hit with the Wind Blast. It does a ton of damage to Makoto, and we do get dizzied. I believe in the original game, once you hit her with the ballista, you do get an all-out attack sequence, provided that Joker is not status, of course. In this case, I didn't have a chance to confirm that because it feels like every time I'm ready for that instance, Joker is always dizzied, which is honestly a pain. But regardless, she's knocked down. We have her defenses lowered, we have her attack raised, so now we're just going to try and do as much damage as we can before she gets back up. Because once she gets back up, we do get one more sequence where we have to answer the questions correctly and we can repel back an attack. And then from there we just have to pin her down until she finally goes down. So instead of opting, normally you just opt for Makoto to attack, but to be honest, I'm not sure how this fight was going to go. So I just opt to keep our attack raised because, like I said before, our level is so low that we do normally we do be doing a lot more damage in this phase, but we're actually not doing that much damage to her despite all that, but we're trying to get there. Thankfully, her agility, well, her evasion stat in this case is at absolute 0, so even though Joker is dizzied, he won't miss in this state, or at least I'm pretty sure we don't. I'm pretty sure in all my runs of this game before, I've never missed because I was dizzy while she was down, and generally she has no evasion. The game treats her as if she was knocked down, so her evasion is at 0. Yeah, we get one more scripted event where we have to answer the questions correctly, and once we do, this is the last scripted event that we have access to. So normally after this part, she goes down. You just have to do one more instance of damage to her and she goes down. But this is the part where the preparation beforehand was not done. So as I mentioned before, we didn't upgrade our weapons to the maximum, and also we lowered her attack during the part where she can because her attack was lowered, the reflected damage does less. So because of that, we're actually not done with this boss fight yet, and this is where it gets pretty scary because once again, she does, even with her attack lowered, she does so much damage. It's unbelievable. I'm not sure who her level is, but it must be a huge level difference because not only do we not do any types of damage to her, even with the double buffs applied, she also just does way too much to us, more than Kaneshiro actually. So yeah, we're just gonna this is the part we have to slug through and hopefully take her down, because otherwise we'd have to restart this fight. As I said before, we did first time this fight. I first time this fight with 0 preparation, but obviously I could have done more prep for this fight. So we're gonna watch. Yeah, so the Tetracards we did apply to ourselves did help. Although one thing that does annoy me about this fight is that her health indicator, because she has so much health, the health indicator is very unreliable and showing us how much health she actually has left, because it looks like it's not even moving. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if it's actually moving. One thing I did want to point out is that if you're going to attempt this, she actually does take 5 times damage from gun. In the original Persona 5 base game, she actually took normal damage from gun, but this time she actually takes 5 times damage from gun, and you could shoot her from this phase. So just keep that in mind for your next, if you ever do attempt this, because I certainly did not know that. I went in the wiki after. So we finally get the last instance of damage done to her, where we can finally take her down. And of course she's gonna say some stuff, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. We'll be taking Futaba. Who really cares at this point? We're just here to defeat you. Please shoot her already. Blah blah blah. Look at all this talking in this boss. This is a boss fight, man. All this talking. All right, that's the coup de grace to take her down. And finally, this fight is over. Trust me, on my end, there's too much stuff you can't even skip. There's so much dialogue. And the game dumps us a lot of experience. Like, we jumped 6 levels. It is actually insane how much experience we get from this fight. And yeah, with that, that's it for this fight. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like the video and sub to the channel if you enjoyed this content. Honestly, I was gone for a bit because I had to play through the section after this, which, for those who have played this game, the section after the Wakaba Palace arc is very, very... The pacing it's terrible. That pacing alone makes me not want to replay this game because I have to sit through an hour of even fast forward footage, an hour of just talking and complaining and characters doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And you know what? We'll save that for another video. Thank you guys for watching. And with that, I'll see you guys later. Stay safe.
この技早く使いたいものだな。